Salut YouTube, comment allez-vous? Aujourd'hui, par demande spéciale d'un ami personnel, nous allons commenter ce vol en anglais. Nous sommes à Nairobi, à l'aéroport international Jomo Kenyatta, et nous allons effectuer un long courrier jusqu'à New York. C'est un vol de 14h30 minutes. Hello everybody, just as I was saying in the introduction, today, thanks to a special request from a personal friend of mine, we are going to be narrating this flight in English instead of French today. So apologies to anybody who cannot understand very well. So just as I was saying, we are in Nairobi, Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and we are going to be doing a long haul flight to New York John Fitzgerald Kennedy. This is actually a flight that Kenyan Airways will be offering in the very near future before the end of the year. It's a 14.5-hour flight, non-stop, that will be basically linking the two cities. Currently, most people who travel to and from Kenya have to take two separate flights, making it a 20-hour journey. So today we have the Boeing 787-9, which we will be using. We do have a full load, so we need to check our flight plan over here. Just as you can see, we are almost at our maximum weight. We have 556,000 pounds. 560,000 pounds is the total, so it is going to be very critical. And we have, just as I was telling you, 14 hours. It's somewhere over here. 14 hours of flight time. Block fuel, we have 201,000 pounds of fuel. We're going to be using 178,000 pounds of it, and our route is we're going to be leaving runway 24 in Nairobi, and we're going to be arriving right now, based on the current weather condition, we're going to be arriving on runway 22. It probably will be left because 22 right is used for departures. So these are our times over here. As you can see, these are the times. So block time is scheduled for 15 hours and 9 minutes, but we're actually going to be doing it in 14 hours and 35 minutes. And for our arrival, we will be basically arriving around we have 299 passengers today, almost a very full flight, and this is the individual points we're going to be taking at different altitudes. Okay, so let's go ahead in the cockpit and get this plane powered up. Right now it is cold and dark, sitting at the gate. The first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to turn on the battery, and then we're going to go to the APU start. We'll put the APU gen on. Then we're going to be putting on the AC buses. Okay, window heats on. Okay, what else? Passenger sign to automatic. We can make we can put the nav lights on. This is a very simple aircraft. It's not really very well simulated, so it's most of the things we're not going to have to touch because it's not simulated. For instance, we're not going to be touching the air conditioning panel, the packs, and anything like that. I don't see the APU bleed, but I think it's not simulated, so the APU bleed should automatically be set for this. So okay, so let's go to the panel, and today let's see, we already have set our load, or we have already set our load. So we're going to go to flight plan, and this is it right here. HKJK to KJFK. Our flight number is KQA36. Okay, we're gonna make sure that the route is programmed properly. We're going to take NACA 1U as a departure SID, and in a little bit I will be briefing the SID so everybody can see. Okay, we're gonna verify the individual legs. Okay, we will delete this point right here because that was not correct. Okay, so Robber, and after Robber we'll do Rosley Zappo. Now we can execute. So we have our route programmed into the FMS. I guess our flight level today, we set flight level 36. 360 is flight level. Okay, so that's done there. Okay, now we can set the panel. Okay, we're going to bring up our flight bag. So as you can see, this is our route over here. We're going to be leaving Nairobi, and then we'll go up north, and then we're gonna follow the North Atlantic track to join New York. So it's not really a direct shot or anything because we do have to follow a certain route. So when we are flying this segment over the Atlantic Ocean, we will be flying ETOPS. Basically, this aircraft is ETOP certified. So I think we're going to be using ETOPS 180 minutes, so which means we're going to be within 180 minutes, or we have to be within 180 minutes of an airport with a single engine if we were to lose one engine. So therefore that's already programmed. So we're going to view our charts over here, and what did I say for the departure? NACAT 1U. So I have to find the SID NACAT 1U, which is right here. So this is our departure over here. So we're going to be leaving runway 24, and upon leaving runway 24, we're pretty much gonna follow the departure route pretty much all the way to NACAT, and then we're going to be joining our route. So pretty simple. Okay, and this is the, let me make this in the daytime mode. Okay, so this is where we are right here. So to taxi, we're gonna push back. We're gonna take Juliet, and then we're going to join Gulf. We're gonna go to Gulf all the way to Lima. Then we're gonna take the runway and backtrack for runway 24 for takeoff. Okay, so we're going to be setting our altitude. Oops. All right, so no, there's a way to get it to go very quickly. There you go. So we're going to be setting our altitude to 340 for now. Okay, let me make sure that's what we have in our flight plan. Okay, we're gonna do step climb. So we start at 34,000. That doesn't make sense. 33,000. Nope. But anyway, our final altitude will be flight level 40,000. We're gonna cap it off at 34,000 for now. So that's good enough until we lose some weight. We have to burn off some fuel. Okay, so we're gonna come back over here, and then we will be setting our climb, the transition altitude here. Okay, the transition altitude here is 9,000 for the transition altitude. So 9,000 as our transition altitude, we're going to be setting it. All right, 9,000. And speaking of transition altitude, we have to check the weather conditions. The winds are coming from the south at 9 knots. Barometric pressure is 1020 hectopascal. So 1020 hectopascal. Before we forget, we're going to be setting it. Okay, let's say it's 3010, 3034. Okay, so that is set. All right, we go back to our FMS programming, and this is not the real FMS for Boeing 787-9. This is simplified for X-plane over here. Okay, so climb, that's set. Cruise, or cruise altitude, we'll say initially 340. Set. Okay, and then for the descent, our altitude is 18,000 for transition. It didn't take. Okay, we're gonna fix the transition altitude for arrival later on. Okay, we did that. What else is left? Okay, VNAV. We already have set VNAV. We already set it. I think it's pretty much all good. We're ready for pushback. But before we do so, I'm gonna set the runway heading. Okay, runway heading. As you can see, after takeoff, we're going to be taking a hard right to join our departure. Then we're gonna set our initial climb rate to 2,600 feet per minute. Okay, we're gonna turn on the beacon light. Okay, before engine start, we have to turn on the beacon light to make sure that the ground crew is advised that this airplane is going to be powered momentarily. Okay, so we're clear on the right and we're clear on the left, and right now we are 10 minutes ahead of schedule. Our departure time was supposed to be 1:45 p.m. local time, and it is currently it is 1:36 p.m. So this is universal time right now. Okay. All right, auto brake, we're gonna have to set it to RTO in case of rejected takeoff. And initially we're gonna set our speed to 240.
Starting pushback.
All right, so we're gonna release the parking brake. Okay, and starting pushback. All right.
Operation complete. set parking brake.
Okay, we're gonna turn on our transponder.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, we're gonna try engine number 1. Let's see what that's gonna give us.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, we're starting to get rotation for engine number 1. So we're gonna allow engine number 1 to stabilize first before trying engine number 2 one more time. Alright, engine number 1 is stable. Now we're going to try engine number 2 again. I'm gonna hold it on the start position for 5 seconds. Then we have rotation for both N1 and N2, so this one should be successful. Okay, engine number 1 is stable and engine number 2 as well. So we're going to quickly recheck our taxi path, and we said we're going to taxi via via Hotel Gulf. Hotel Gulf. Okay. So we're gonna set flaps 5. And we're gonna take off the parking brake. And let's go. We're clear on the left, clear on the right. Okay, we can turn off the APU, don't need it anymore. And we can also turn on the taxi lights. All right. All right, so there's our aircraft, our mighty 787-900 as seen by ATC. Okay, cabin crew, prepare for departure. Okay, we are approaching runway 24. So we're gonna set our strobe lights to on, and we're going to also get our landing lights to on as well for extra visibility. Okay, there is nobody coming from the left, nobody coming from the right, so we have declared our intention of entering the runway since we're flying offline or online, but no controllers to control the runway. Okay, so we continue.
On runway 06.
Okay, since we're heading in the opposite direction, it's runway 6 now, and we have to get to the end and backtrack. We have to backtrack and turn around for 24, I should say. Alright, here comes the end of the runway. So at this time, we have been cleared to take off. We have received our clearance from tower.
Approaching 24.
Okay, runway 24 confirmed.
On runway 24.
Okay, just as seen by tower. HKJK-36 cleared for takeoff, runway 24. Toga power. Okay, V1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Okay, flaps 1. Flaps up. Okay, at this time, as you can see, we're on the way to join the departure. We're at 9,000. Okay, we're going to turn off the landing lights
Altimeter setting.
since we are past 10,000 feet. Then we can also set the barometric pressure to standard. Okay, we're going to set our range now. We need to set it in such way that there you go. There's our range. Now we can see our route. That's what I was looking for. Okay, we're going to set autopilot and let the aircraft take over. Okay, now we're following the path of LNAV, lateral navigation. So we're gonna continue, we're gonna continue our climb to 34,000, flight level 340. And we're gonna let autopilot take us to almost the end of this flight. We're gonna come back and land it. Okay, we just reached the top of our climb or cruise level, flight level 340, as you can see. So we're going to remain at flight level 340 to burn off some fuel, and over the length of the flight we're going to step climb to higher altitude for more efficient fuel consumption. Okay, right now we have flown 4 hours, a little bit over a third of the way, and we have on board at this present time 132,000 pounds of fuel on board. But according to our flight plan, around this time we should have had 143,000 pounds of fuel. Therefore, we are slightly consuming more fuel than planned, so we have to watch that to make sure we will have enough. We should have enough fuel to get to Kennedy, because our alternate fuel should be 5,000 pounds, a minimum reserve or 8,000 pounds, and then we also have 8% contingency fuel as well, so we should be okay, but nonetheless we have to watch it. So just to kind of give you a perspective of our route, so this is where we are right now. After 4 hours, we basically are still tracking north towards North Africa, and I think we are over Chad, if I'm not mistaken. So these are the airways. It doesn't really care about showing which country we're overflying, but if I'm not mistaken, we're over Chad. So we're going to continue to take this route, then kind of go around the south of Spain, and then we're going to follow the North Atlantic track as if we were flying back from Europe, and then we'll look down to JFK. So that's where we are. So I'm gonna give you an outside view and let you understand, let you appreciate, not understand, let you appreciate the nice desert below us. Well, there's really nothing nice about the desert, but there it is. So that's over Chad, I believe, or yeah, Chad. Okay, we have presently flown 10 hours and 42 minutes, so roughly we have 4 hours and 7 minutes left. As you can see, we are over the Atlantic Ocean. We actually are in our ETOPS segment, and right now we're flying the New York Oceanic track at this time. We are at flight level 380. We have one more step climb to do. Our final altitude will be 40,000 feet. That will allow us to save fuel and be as efficient as possible. So everybody, here we are at 40,000 feet currently. Roughly about 45 minutes of flight time left. We are nicely tracking into New York, and as you can see with this pink arrow, we have 2 more waypoints, and then we'll be into New York City approach. Currently we're actually into New York airspace right now. Very shortly we will be contacting air traffic control. So let's go in the cockpit to see what it looks like. As you can see outside, the cabin lights are all lit up, and inside the cabin or the cockpit is dimmed to be very nice and easy on our eyes. Tracking towards Plym, and we're at 153 miles away from Plym. And for progress, JFK, we will be arriving at JFK at 1:47 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. We are at 377 nautical miles from JFK. So we will be on the ground shortly, and I will be seeing you on the way down right before our top of descent. Okay, currently we are at 60 nautical miles from our top of descent. We have to prepare the aircraft. The first thing to do, we're going to lower the altitude so that when we get to our point of descent, the aircraft will immediately begin its way down, just following the altitudes that are programmed on the FMC. So we're going to set it at 21,000 feet for now. That should suffice. Then we'll make adjustments here in a little bit. All right, so 21,000. Okay, so we also need to check the weather in New York. So we're gonna get to our nav radios.
0. Few clouds at 5,000. Few clouds at 9,000. 5,000 broken. Temperature 23. 2.15. Altimeter 3001. Arrivals expect ILS runway 4 right. Departing runway 4 left. Robbinsville, Yardley, White, and Dixie departures expect runway 31 at intersection Kilo Echo. 10,900 feet takeoff distance available. Please back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You'll have information Bravo.
Okay, so we have the
Kennedy
current
Airport
information for New York Kennedy.
00510.
So we're going to
1330 at 13.
go back to Unicom.
Visibility 10. Few clouds at 5,000.
Okay, there we go. We have disconnected the radio and went back to Unicom. And the piece of information we needed, actually multiple pieces of information. The arrival runway should be ILS 4 right, so we will be changing that. We actually had programmed ILS 22 left based on the winds at our departure, during our departure time. So this has changed. We'll have to reprogram it here shortly. We'll get the charts out as well. Okay, we're gonna view our charts. Star runway 4 left will be our arrival, and we will be arriving. No, I'm sorry, runway 4 right. 4 right. All right, so we have a Arch 2 arrival, which number one, we have to ensure that we, let's see, okay, we have to make sure that the altitude restrictions at Arch will be okay. We'll go to legs. Okay, Caverton, we have to pass Caverton at 12,000 feet, 250 knots. 12,000 feet, 250 knots. So we'll have to adjust this to 250, 12,000 feet. That's an altitude restriction we have. Okay. And then after Caverton, Robber, we have to be at 9,000 at Robber. So we'll do the same thing. We'll do 240 knots to start decelerating. 9,000. Okay. All right, now we can program our ILS. We'll do ILS 4 right. Okay. So for ILS 4 right, what we have today, we're gonna have ZTAL as our initial approach fix will be ZTAL for final approach fix. So we're gonna reprogram here, approach arrival, arrival. Gonna take ILS 4 right. For star, we already have Arch 2. Tells me invalid. We're already on the arrival. Doesn't show me a transition. We may have to add ZTAL manually. Okay, so let's go check the legs. Okay, as you can see, we'll have to reprogram here to 50, 12,000, and that was at in covered. Okay, it's still good. We have ZTAL, so we can set ZTAL. The altitude can be set after we clear the discontinuity. There you go. So we are all set, and now we have to contact New York Center. Okay, New York Center is online. We have to connect to them and contact them. Here we go.
Bravo, Victor Delta, United States.
Good evening, New York Center. Okay, we're gonna allow them to finish talking first. New York Center, good evening. Kenya Airways 36 with you at flight level 400.
Kenyan 36, New York Center, Squawk 6642.
Squawk 6642, Kenya Airways 36. Ok, pour notre transpondeur 6642. For our squawk code 6642. Done.
Kenyan Airways 36, New York Center, radar contact. Cross trait at maintain, flight level 240.
Cross trait at and maintain flight level 240, Kenya Airways 36. Okay, we have to cross trait right here
contact,
at flight level 240. Okay, we need to get vertical speed, and then we're gonna pull the throttle back a little bit, and we're gonna start descending. We have to cross straight at flight level 240, and we have to be there in about 18 miles, so there's a lot of altitude to shed right now.
Kenya 36, cross Calverton at maintain 12,000 at 250 knots.
Cross
Kennedy
Calverton.
altimeter 3001.
3001 for the altimeter. Cross Calverton at and maintain 250 knot, 12,000, Kenya 36. Alright, as you just heard, now our next restriction is crossing Calverton at 12,000.
Austrian 89.
250 knots.
Turn right heading 220.
Rising 220, Austrian 89er.
There you go, 3001 for the barometric pressure into New York set. Also going to be setting our minimums. We're going to take 200 feet radio altimeter since we'll be flying
Kenya 36,
ILS.
contact New York approach 128.12.
New York approach on 128.12, Kenya 36. Okay, we have to contact New York approach 128.12. New York approach, good evening, Kenya 36 with you on Porch to arrival, passing 16,000 for 12,000.
Kenya 36 Heavy near approach, roger. Kenya 36 Heavy, expect the S31 right approach, Kennedy altimeter 3001.
Did you say expect 31 right approach for Kenya 36?
Affirmative.
Roger, we'll reconfigure for 31 right. We're all set for 4 right for the ATIS, but not a problem. Kenya 36.
Yeah, Kenya 36, let me go ahead and take the ATIS from center, then I'll switch it up.
So stay on 4 right approach for Kenya 36.
Kenya 36, I'm going to put you on the ILS 31 right approach. The winds are severely coming out of the west, unless you want like a 140 knot crosswind.
No, 31 right will do just fine. Kenya 36. We'll reconfigure.
Thank you. And just to maintain 900,000.
Okay, down to 900,000. Kenya 36. Okay, as you heard, we have to change our runway one more time because the winds have shifted. So we're going to be setting that. Okay, I gotta get the charts one more time. Gotta get the charts for 3-1 right. Okay, 3-1 right. We will be having a final approach fix of cathode. So we'll reconfigure depart arrival ILS 3-1 right. I don't think I need chant as a transition. Let me check. You guys see chant anywhere? I don't. So it's not on my chart. I'm going to say no. Go to legs. After Robert, hopefully he's gonna give us vectors because I do not have any more points. Forgot to turn on the lights.
Kenya 36 Heavy, turn right heading 210.
Turn right heading 210, Kenya 36 Heavy.
Kenya 36 Heavy, that's a 270 heading.
270 heading, my bad, Kenya 36 Heavy. Okay, heading 270 coming up. And we're gonna reduce our speed down to 199. Let's make it 190.
Alrighty, no problem, thank you. And Odyssey 1011, same for you. Can you take runway 31 left at Kilo Echo?
Okay, we're gonna take flaps 1.
Say the distance again.
It's at 10,500 feet from Kilo Echo.
Then we're gonna reduce down to
Yeah, we can accept
180.
that for Odyssey 11.
Odyssey 1011, thank you. Kenya 36 Heavy, you're 8 miles from Maldi, turn right heading 280, maintain 1,000 to establish and localizer your clear ILS runway 31 right approach.
280 right turn, maintain 3000 until established, clear ILS 31 right approach, Kenya 36. Okay, we are cleared for the ILS, so we have to set our localizer and approach.
United 219, request taxi.
United 219,
Localizer
runway 31 left at Kilo
is
Echo,
on.
taxi via Alpha, Kilo Echo.
And we're also gonna arm the
Taxi
approach.
via Alpha, Kilo Echo, United 219, thank you very much.
Okay, 315 on the course is set. I'm gonna turn on the taxi lights. Flaps 5. We should have the airport to our right here shortly. Okay, the localizer is coming in, as you can see. So we are intercepting the final approach course that is done automatically by the airplane. So when we're centered around the runway, you'll see that this diamond will be dead center, and currently we're below the glide path. There's a airport right there. So we'll be centered, and then the aircraft will guide itself towards the runway automatically. We are locked on the localizer, and the glide scope, we're not locked in on the glide scope yet. So we are going to reduce our speed to 170. Then we're going to arm the speed brakes. And as soon as we are locked onto the glide scope, we're going to have the gear down, and we're going to take flaps 15.
Departure.
United 7. Odyssey 1011. Runway left at Kilo Echo. Taxi via Alpha Kilo Echo.
Alpha Kilo Echo, 1011.
United 737. Turn left heading 080.
Okay, we just locked onto the glide scope, and as you can see, the airplane began its descent right away, immediately. Gear down. Flaps 15.
Kenya 36 heavy, wind 33013, runway 31 right, clear to land.
31 right, clear to land, Kenya 36 heavy. Okay, we're gonna get the flaps down to 20. Okay, our final approach speed 148. Okay, flaps 30.
United 219, flattest. Squad 4 Charlie, please.
United 219, Courier, Smoky 1527.
Yeah, just a squad 4 Charlie for me, please. Thank you. Alright, flight escort through departure, wind 330 at 13, runway 31 left, clear for takeoff at Kilo Echo.
Clear for land, clear for takeoff at 219.
Okay, landing checklist, landing gear down, and 3 greens. Speed brake is armed, auto brake is set to level 2. Cabin crew has been advised. Flaps 30, landing checklist completed. Okay, shortly we will be taking the controls. We'll land manually today.
United 737, turn left heading 040, center maintain 4000.
Approaching 3, 1, right.
Okay, autopilot disconnected. My aircraft. Check.
That's 19 F1, crossing 1,007. 5,000.
United 219 with a contact, climbing
Okay,
27,000.
continue.
Light slow.
Timing 27,000.
Light slow. Light slow.
100.
United 737, New York approach.
20. 10.
United
Okay,
219,
we
turn left
are
heading
down.
130, climb maintaining
Reverses,
11,000.
Right, 130.
Okay, reversal stowed.
United 737, New York approach. Once again, United 737, approach you on my free.
Alright, we're going to exit over here.
United 727, you hear me?
United 737, now I can. And left heading 360, center
We'll turn
maintain 3,000.
the lights that we do not need. We'll turn them off.
United 737, then left heading 360, and I'm maintaining 3,000.
Canyon 36 Heavy, welcome to Kennedy Parking today, sir.
Any parking for Canyon 36 today?
Canyon 36 Heavy, straight ahead, Victor into Terminal 7. Have a good night.
Straight ahead, Victor into Terminal 7. Good night and thank you. So we have to
National
go
aircraft, New
straight
York approach
ahead
will be closing.
to
Sorry, New York approach will be closing in about
Victor,
5
as you can see
minutes.
over here. So we'll be just taking any parking on Terminal 7 and stow the flaps. So we have arrived after 15 hours and 5
United
minutes.
219, negative, not yet. Turn left heading 040 up to 17,000, please. 2 miles from Maldi, turn left heading 340, maintain 3,000 until establishing a localizer. You're cleared island
Just
3,
keep
1 right
everything
approach.
easy. We'll pull straight into this slot.
340, United 7, please.
Taxi lights off. Alright, we'll ease into this parking slot following the markings or the auto guidance system. There you go. We have arrived. We'll set the parking brake. And we forgot to turn on the APU. Before we shut down the engines, we're going to need to turn on the APU first. So right now we'll shut down the left engine for engine number 1, and we'll wait on engine number 2 until the APU is online. Alright, as you can see, the APU is starting up. Okay, it should be online very shortly. Alright, so we'll shut off engine number 2. We'll also shut off the beacon light. We're gonna brighten the cockpit.
United 219, you can turn
Welcome
left,
to
direct
Kennedy,
AO,
everybody.
climb and maintain your flight level, your cruise altitude, radar service is terminated, have a good flight.
Right, yeah, cruise
Here is our aircraft. Live and well in New York.
United 737, wind 330 to 13, runway 30, clear to land.
Alright, we're going to disconnect from the VATSIM network and we're going to check out the landing. Here we are on landing in final approach. I think we landed right on the mark. The reverse thrusters have been very effective because it didn't take us long to stop at all. Okay, here is a view from tower. There you go. All right, and one last view from runway camera. A little bit off center, but wasn't too bad. There we are.